All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're exploring the profound ancient journey of spiritual cultivation, specifically looking at the comprehensive life plan of a cultivator in what is known as the White Era. Now, this isn't just about casually reading some ancient text. It's a highly practical, step-by-step roadmap for living a life of deep purpose, ultimate compassion, and true spiritual liberation. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We're going to cover White Era Cultivation Explained, the 5 foundational precepts, the cultivator's mindset, mastering the 6 paramitas, and finally, compassionate diet and health. Let's start with Section 1, White Era Cultivation Explained, and the ultimate spiritual goal. Think about a lotus flower. It grows right there in the muddy water, right? But it blooms entirely untainted. Well, that perfectly illustrates our core identity as cultivators. It's all about holding on to purity, truth, and the Dharma while living right smack in the middle of a complex, noisy, everyday world. You see, the ultimate goal isn't just to be a good person. It's way bigger than that. It's to escape the endless cycle of reincarnation, of birth and death, to finally find true, lasting liberation. Okay, moving on to Section 2. Now that we know the ultimate goal, let's look at how we actually get there with the 5 foundational precepts, the physical guardrails. Precepts, or sila, are absolutely foundational. You know, people often hear the word rules and immediately think of restrictions meant to tie you down and ruin your fun. But the ancient texts give us a much better analogy. Think of them as spiritual train tracks. If a train jumps the tracks, it's a total disaster, right? Well, these precepts keep our spiritual train from derailing, safely guiding us toward the other shore of enlightenment. And these 5 specific rules are incredibly powerful. They aren't just arbitrary. We've got no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no intoxication. Why just these 5? Because they literally cut off the heaviest karmic debts that keep us trapped in all this suffering. For instance, the source material explicitly notes that avoiding killing removes the absolute heaviest karmic burden of exchanging life for life. Meanwhile, avoiding intoxication ensures your mind stays sharp enough to actually cultivate wisdom. You can't cultivate if you're cloudy. This is a pretty profound warning, and it really highlights the immense severity of breaking these foundational rules. It's presented as a stark binary in the texts. Keep the guardrails up, and you walk the direct path of the Buddhas. Ignore them, and you fall back into the endless cycle of suffering. It really puts the daily choices we make into a sharp perspective, doesn't it? Now, here's where it gets really fascinating. The way we view these rules has to evolve. You might start out at the lower or middle levels, basically following the rules because you're terrified of bad karma, or maybe you just want a comfortable life next time around. But a true cultivator has to level up to the high and supreme levels. Up there, you aren't doing it for yourself anymore. You're keeping the precepts out of pure, selfless compassion, with the ultimate goal of liberating all sentient beings. So, we've got our physical guardrails in place, but physical rules are just the starting line. If your body is following the rules, but your mind is an absolute chaotic mess, you aren't truly cultivating. So how do we train the mind? That brings us perfectly to Section 3, the cultivator's mindset, the internal shift. This is where we go from outward behavior to deep internal transformation. First up, Dharma is natural. Listen, true cultivation isn't about running off to an isolated cave or trying to unlock secret magical mind-reading powers. It just isn't. It's actually about acting with a natural celestial conscience right here in your normal, everyday life. It's about how you handle stress at work, how you treat your family, and how you react when things just don't go your way. Cultivating this mindset requires a few really essential shifts. First, you have to wake up to life's impermanence. Youth, wealth, health, it's all fleeting. So we have to stop clinging to outward forms. We need deeply rooted vows to keep us anchored when the storm hits. We must hold all sentient beings in our hearts. And this next one is absolutely crucial. We have to embrace tests and hardships. The text uses beautiful metaphor, comparing hardships to river stones. They are literally the friction that smoothly and beautifully polishes our rough edges over time. Okay, so here is a huge turning point. It's one thing to just avoid doing bad things by following the precepts, right? But how do we actively generate the massive amount of spiritual merit needed to reach true liberation? We do that through monumental action. Section 4, Mastering the 6 Parameters, the Great Actions. The word paramita is amazing. It literally translates to crossing to the other shore. Imagine you're standing on this shore of worldly suffering, anxiety, and endless reincarnation. Well, the Paramitas are the sturdy, unsinkable boat that safely carries you across that turbulent water to the ultimate spiritual liberation of nirvana. These 6 steps are the active, daily practices every single bodhisattva has to master to elevate themselves and help others. Let's run through them. We've got dana, which is pure giving without expecting a single thing in return. Sila, that discipline we talked about earlier. Kanti, an unbelievable patience and tolerance when facing hardship. Virya, boundless diligence. Dhyana, maintaining a focused, meditative calm right in the middle of chaos. And finally, prajna, which is ultimate awakened wisdom. And what's super cool is how the 6 paramitas map perfectly to the broader Buddhist framework. The practices of giving, discipline, and patience map right onto the training of precepts, which fosters bravery. Meditation maps to concentration, fostering compassion, and wisdom maps directly to the training and quality of wisdom. But here's the kicker. The source text notes that the engine driving this entire system is virya, or diligence. Without putting in the actual effort, none of these connections even happen. Now let's bring these lofty spiritual concepts all the way down to earth. How do these deep spiritual ideas apply directly to our physical bodies, day in and day out? Section 5. Compassionate Diet and Health, the Physical Reality. Because honestly, our daily diet isn't just about calories and macros. It's a direct, physical reflection of our internal spiritual wisdom. Both ancient Eastern philosophy and modern Western science completely agree on this one. You are what you eat. And as the old proverb states, disease enters through the mouth. Our physical health, our emotional stability, and our spiritual purity are all completely intertwined with what we choose to consume. So what exactly does a cultivator eat? First and foremost, they avoid all meat. Land, water, air, doesn't matter. Purely out of compassion. If you're trying to cultivate a heart like a Buddha, you simply cannot consume the flesh of sentient beings. Secondly, and a lot of people find this fascinating, they strictly avoid the 5 pungent plants, things like garlic and onions. Why? Because the ancient texts explain these plants excessively stimulate your internal organs, create heavy bodily odors, and literally agitate the mind, which makes deep meditation and maintaining a calm spirit almost impossible. But hey, it's not just about what you don't eat, it's about what you do eat. Eating a complete vegetarian diet means harmonizing perfectly with nature. You want to consume foods across all 5 colors, which correspond to the 5 natural elements: red for fire, black or blue for water, yellow for earth, green for wood, and white for metal. Doing this ensures your body gets a completely balanced nutritional profile, allowing your physical vessel to strongly support your spiritual journey. This beautiful summary from the source material really brings everything full circle. It's a reminder that despite life throwing endless tests our way, our original, peaceful, spiritual home is always within our reach. But to actually get there, our heart must remain faithful, our spirit calm, and our vows absolutely unchanging. So after exploring this comprehensive life plan for the White Era, it all comes down to one profound question. Are we going to remain asleep, just letting the impermanence of life pass us by while we chase fleeting worldly desires? Or are we going to wake up, establish our guardrails, shift our mindset, and take that very first step on the path of the cultivator today? The choice, as always, is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope it sparked some deep curiosity for you.